Okay, I'm going to do a quick video how I set up my cold plunge. This has a chiller on it. I'll put links on anything I have I can think of that will maybe, if you're looking at doing something like this, and give you some idea. But this is how I did mine. And I've had this running since a little bit before, almost a year, because just right before Thanksgiving we put this thing in. Mine's in my basement. I put a little mat underneath it. I'm just getting ready to cold plunge, but I thought I'd just do this really quick. That's why I have the towel out. The towel is not out there. And then it's the one I went with. There's a lot like it. I love this one. Like I said, it's held up well. And there's the cover there. It's just in one of my old offices. So here's how I did mine. I've just got, that's just poly tube. There's the outlet over there. Here's going to be the inlet. And I don't have real powerful pumps. I just have a circulation pump basically. There's that. It just runs out. I leave it down like that. And then I've just put this here. It's just a whole, what do they call it? Whole home system for the filter. And it works great. I rinse it out every 2 weeks. And water stays clear. Like I said, this is about, I'll change it out every 2 months, the water. This is going to be changed out here in about just the first part of November, so a couple weeks, or not even a couple weeks, a week or so. So I just put that valve there. I haven't really even needed that there, so you could do it without it, but I put it there just in case I need to shut some stuff off. And then what I use to drain this is, let me see if I can get around here real quick. Let me move this cover, just that right there. And that drains it really quick. Put a hose on there, drain it, and then I refill it just by flipping that hose back around, and then I either fill it from my bathroom if it's winter, or I fill it in the summer. I just refill it from the hose outside. But that's that pump there. I'll put that in there too. I think I just got that online as well. And then here's my chiller right here. Let me see if I can get around here and give you some better pictures of it. So all I did is the inlet on this tub, or the outlet, is right there. I just put a 1/2 inch, just get a Home Depot, put a 1/2 inch barbed on there, and then it's just clamped here. And then I put this over here because people talked about condensation, but I don't know that foam right there, just same thing, Home Depot. And then I put it here as well, and then here's my same thing on the inlet. And then I just, like, if I come back here, I just fill mine up. Mine usually I'll fill it up anywhere, sorry my finger got in there, anywhere from, and then this is just swivels, so I can put it up, put it down like that, and then taped it off. And inside there, they have some, I did a video but I didn't post it because I did have to, I helped someone else and someone helped me on that, that's a reverse thread on this piece here. I probably won't even go into it, but there's a O-ring back there just to make sure these things don't leak. But like I said, I've never had no water, nothing leak out, and I usually keep, and then I put this just in the same thing, the bin at Home Depot. Just put this in one of these, I don't know how big they are. Usually have a yellow lid that you can buy with them, or a red lid. And then this just goes in here, because I figured if my leaks were gonna come, most of they'll be in joints and stuff like that. And so these came with this chiller, and then I have, here's my circulation pump. You can't see this, kind of dark, but it just sits down at the bottom, just a little guy there. And it runs well. I mean, I know, I've seen where people will put more powerful pumps, and then I read on the chiller, most of these chillers don't like too much flow through them. And so I just kind of kept with the recommendations of that. I'm going to go down to the other side here real quick, kind of show you how we set up the power system. And this is, again, this is just how I set mine up. Got some ideas from other people, and then just set it up this way. And it's worked great. It'll be, we're about 11 months into running this thing. Okay, so here's what I did on this side here. Like I said, we put the chiller in there. Pretty simple. I bought this little thing here so I can plug in my chiller. My chiller's going off of there, and so is my so is that little pump. And then just a circulation pump for a water heater, I think is what that is. I'll put the links in so you don't have to look for it if you want to do anything like this. I leave this one open. It's just a 3 thing. I leave this one open, and I'll show you because I have another pump that I use to prime that pump when I first set it back up or drain it or stuff like that, and it just helps that, so I'm not sitting there waiting for that thing to prime. And then I'll plug this in, and this is just an aquarium pump that came with, I think this came with the chiller. So, and then what I have here is I have a smart plug, because if I ever see something I wanted to shut it off from, or my kid says something's leaking, I can shut it off from wherever I'm at. You wouldn't have to do that. And then I just have everything on a GFI right there. So everything that comes out of that is on a GFI. And again, I've never had a problem with that either. It's never tripped or anything like that. The other stuff that you see down there for power is totally independent. It runs to my just some office stuff and a desk over here. But then here's the other thing that I have, and it's probably not the best video. I just wanted to overview what we did here. It just sits there. It has a suction cup on that pump at the bottom. See, it's holding this thing in place, and that's kind of why I leave that as well. And then I just unplug it most of the time. I'll just have that unplugged. But I just use the other pump, and it works great. And this, like I said, this is almost water change. I did a filter. I rinsed the filter out, I think it was day before yesterday. Water stays clear. I use something a little bit different. I'm not even sure what it's called. I can put a link to what I use to keep it sanitized. And then again, once in a while, I'll use some stuff just to if it gets a little bit, it doesn't really even get really murky. It stays really clear, but if it even kind of gets a little haze or fog to it, then usually it's because I just didn't sweat the filter out. But I'll show you what I use to sanitize mine. I know a lot of people use different things, and they all seem to work great. But yeah, this thing's held up well, and I use this thing almost daily. My regiment, whether anyone cares or not, but I do 21 minutes a week, and however I get that in is however I get that in. I've had days where I've had a long time if I'm going out of town or I do something, but that's just been my regiment that I set up to do for 1 year, and then I may switch that up. I may keep with that. So some days I do 6 minutes or whatever, but so it's well used is what I'm trying to get at. Not that I'm even doing it, but and then my wife does some too, and she does her regiment. It's a little bit different, but that's it. That's how we go. And then this mat, I like this mat because it keeps everything dry, and if it does get wet, it's not a big deal. Oh, I guess I should show you this too over here. And then I just have this net, so if you get any sediment or anything in there, and that's just a little pond net. And then I brought this in. I don't use this much, or I don't know if I've maybe used it once. This is just because the same thing I used on my hot tub, and it's just sitting in there, and then I just have the bucket to put in there. And that's kind of it. I'll put anything I can think of. I may do other videos if I think of other things to do for it. But that's how I've done mine, and it's worked out just great for me.